friend Dragos here from Constant Well, coming up with another video, and I know I promised yesterday when I recorded the video that I'll get back to you with some additional information and ways and techniques in how to enhance your intuition. Because if you want to live an awesome life, you want to follow your intuition. If you follow only your rational thinking, which is fine, the only thing is that it's not gonna get you too far. If you want to have a leap and succeed, you want to use your sixth sense, your intuition. So what's the story with intuition? Let's pick up the most credible field for many people, because people want to get information that are scientifically proved. Funny thing, science is only 300 years old. But anyways, let's pick up psychology. So from the psychological perspective, intuition is the way in which your unconscious mind, or subconscious mind some people call it, so the way in which your unconscious mind communicates to your conscious mind. And usually people do not perceive the intuition as something tangible. Why? Because there is a barrier that stands between the unconscious and conscious mind, and that barrier is called ego. It's a component of our personality based on the beliefs that we have accumulated since we got born. So how can you enhance your intuition? I'm gonna jump straight to the point because I don't want to make this video too long. I would first recommend you a couple of things that I also have them, and it helped me a lot in developing my intuition. The number one is a pendulum. I think it's not so expensive. I think I paid 5 years ago around $35 or $40 for a very good crystal. So basically the pendulum is a small Swarovski crystal. It can be some other crystals too, but that's the most recommended. And you basically use your pendulum to ask questions that you need answers to. And you usually ask a question in a closed way, not an open question, a question in which you need a yes or no. And the role of the pendulum is a huge one. It connects you with your higher self or unconscious mind, whatever you want to call it. So basically when you ask a question, the pendulum will rotate in a certain way. Usually the yes, usually it's in a clockwise way, and the no is in the other way, the counterclockwise. And trust me, I have used for many years my pendulum, and always gave me the most accurate answers. It's really powerful. Now let me give you another way. The second way, I said that I'm going to recommend two ways, and I'll tell you what's the reason behind. The second way in which you want to put yourself in the intuition zone, put your body mind in the intuition zone, is to use a crystal. Now I'm going to give you a lot of resources in my blog post. You want to read my blog post to access all these resources. And for example, some crystals that are enhancing, there are many, but I'm going to give you some examples. Quartz is one of them that enhances your intuition. Emerald is another one. Malachite is another one. But I'm going to give you the link, and you can see the whole list of crystals, and you can access them. If you go to any crystal store, you can find them, and they are not expensive. The moment you charge that crystal, and you will also find in my blog post how to do it, you do it once, and then you carry the crystal with you as often as possible. It's a small crystal, you keep it in your pocket. And because of the frequency that vibrates at that specific crystal, will create a certain energy field in your body mind, and will basically loosen that barrier between your conscious and unconscious mind. And you will be able to hear more the messages from your intuition, from your unconscious mind, basically. And the reason I told you about the crystal and the pendulum is that the more often you use them, the more you put your body mind in connection with your higher self, and the more you enhance your intuitive faculties. Now, of course, there are situations, let's say you are at a workplace, when you want an answer from your pendulum, you just can't do that. You can just pull out the pendulum and tell to your colleagues, okay guys, give me 1 sec, I want to see the answer, because probably they will consider you as being a bit nuts. But some other ways in which you can use your intuition, and depends on each individual, on each personality. Some people, for example, are more physical, and they can get the messages from their unconscious mind through the physical sensations. It's that sensation called the gut feeling. So, for example, when you think about making a decision in a certain direction, and you ask yourself, is it okay, is that the right decision for me if I take it, and see what you feel in the body. You might feel a relaxation, a sort of expansion, or you might feel a contraction, and in this case most probably the answer is no. So your unconscious mind communicates through the intuition to your conscious mind through the physical sensations. Now, there are different other techniques, and I will of course put them in my blog post. For example, the blind reading is a very interesting technique. I don't want to get into details, but basically it's about 3 playing cards, and you assign each card with, let's say, a solution. You shuffle them, you put them upside down, and you see what card you are attracted by the most, what kind of energy does it have. And when you pull that card, you will basically get the solution. And that's another way in which your unconscious mind points you to that direction, gives you the answer, gives you a solution. Now, for other people, for example, the outside reality is a way in which they get the message from their intuition. I can give you an example, a very interesting example. I was, some years ago, not too many, I think 4 years ago, 4.5, I was in vacation with my wife, and we were at that time on an island, northern of Canada, in Lake Huron area. So we wanted to have a long day trail, a stunning trail on the edge of the cliffs along the northern channel. But the weather, when we woke up, the weather was really nasty. It was raining, strong wind, and the sky was covered with a thick blanket of dark black clouds. And I remember I was debating with my wife, what should we do, because we plan to have this long day trail, and it seems that the weather is unfriendly, and it's not a good idea on this wind and the rain to go on the edge of the cliffs. And we were basically inviting the universe to give us an answer, and nothing was showing up. We didn't know what to do. But after 5 minutes, a bird is landing on a stone very close to us, 2-3 meters far from us, looks into our eyes and sings joyously. And for us, that was a right answer of go and do your trail. Although it didn't make any logical sense, we took this as a yes. We jumped into our car, drove there, and started to walk on the trail, and guess what? In 2 hours, the sky was perfectly clear, no cloud, perfectly sunny, the wind stopped, and we had a great time. Just an example, speaking about the pendulum, I can give you another powerful example. A few years ago, I was at the step to lose my job because the government has stopped the funding for that program, and I knew that in 2 months everything will be closed and I will remain without a job. And I asked the pendulum, am I gonna have another job in 2 months? And the pendulum said yes. And then I asked a kind of silly question, and I'm gonna be in the same agency? And the pendulum said yes. And I said, okay, it doesn't make any logical sense, but the pendulum probably knows better, because the pendulum is exactly your intuition, shows you, gives you the answer from your unconscious mind. And sure enough, very interesting things happened in my workplace. Somebody has left the agency, and a lot of people have moved to different positions, and a new position was created in another department, exactly with 2 weeks before the other program was supposed to close, which happened. So basically I applied for that position and got the job in another department, and I worked in that agency for the next 1.5 years until I decided to leave and start my journey to the entrepreneurship. So it's really powerful. So let me repeat just the few ideas that I shared with you. A pendulum and a crystal is a must-have. It will help you to put your body-mind in the intuition zone. And then choose from the techniques that I put in my blog post. There are different ways and techniques in which you can hear and lower your barrier between your conscious and unconscious mind. Because the unconscious mind has all answers to all questions you have or you might have. Because your unconscious mind is connected to the universal energy, to the universal mind, to the supreme mind, whatever you want to call it. So my friend, it's not difficult to use your intuition. You just need to put yourself in that mode and create that sort of habit. And the more you use it, the more comfortable you will become with it. And this is the way in which you can change your life and live a better life and become successful. It will enhance your success more if you follow your intuition. It will help you to make those leaps and get to the other side